Not all great sports cars get the recognition they deserve. While some models became legends, others quietly delivered exceptional performance, stunning designs, and thrilling driving experiences without the spotlight. These cars often flew under the radar, but have since earned respect for their innovation, handling, and power. Here are the 113 most underrated sports cars of all time. Hidden gems that deserve more credit than they got. You might just discover your next dream car. Mazda Europa, Mazda RX-7, FB SA22C, the 1978-1985. Why it's underrated. The first-generation Mazda RX-7, known internally as the SA22C and later as the MUF, is a true hidden gem in automotive history. While later RX-7 models, particularly the FD, are celebrated for their stunning looks and performance, the original RX-7 often gets lost in the conversation. That's a shame because this car revolutionized affordable sports cars with its innovative engineering, lightweight design, and rotary engine that delivered a driving experience like no other. At a time when Japanese automakers were mostly focused on economy cars, Mazda took a bold step by developing a sports coupe centered around the rotary engine. The RX-7's heart was the Subaru 12A rotary engine, a compact yet powerful Wankel unit that allowed the car to have a low center of gravity and perfect 50-50 weight distribution. Despite its modest displacement, the rotary's ability to rev freely gave it a character that traditional piston engines of the time couldn't match. The engine's unique sound, a high-pitched mechanical hum, quickly became a hallmark of the RX-7. What truly set the RX-7 apart was its lightweight construction and nimble handling. Mazda kept the car's weight down to around the 2,300 pounds, 1,043 kilograms, giving it an agility that was almost unmatched in its class. The RX-7's double wishbone front suspension and live rear axle setup, combined with precise steering, made it feel like a motory extension of the driver's body. Every input was met with immediate response, making the car a delight on twisty roads. Many enthusiasts likened driving the RX-7 to piloting a go-kart, thanks to its sharp handling and playful demeanor. Visually, the RX-7's design was both sleek and purposeful. Its long hood, pop-up headlights, and smooth-flowing lines were inspired by European sports cars, but it retained a distinctly Japanese flair. The Moi hatchback design added practicality, allowing owners to carry luggage or even a set of golf clubs, making it a sports car you could live with daily. Inside, the cockpit was driver-focused, with simple but effective gauges and controls that reinforced the car's purpose as a pure driving machine. Despite its brilliance, the first-generation RX-7 often goes overlooked for several reasons. First, it was overshadowed by the second and third generation models, which gained fame for their turbocharged engines and sleek styling. Second, rotary engines, while fascinating, have always had a reputation for being temperamental and thirsty. The 12A required regular maintenance and meticulous care, particularly when it came to oil changes and monitoring apex seals. For those who understood and respected the engine's quirks, however, the rewards were immense. The RX-7's affordability also played a role in its cult status. At launch, it was significantly cheaper than many of its European competitors, such as the Porsche 924 and Datsun 280ZX. This made it accessible to a wide range of buyers, many of whom were experiencing sports car ownership for the first time. The RX-7 proved that you didn't need to spend a fortune to enjoy a thrilling rear-wheel drive coupe that could carve corners with the best of them. Over the years, the RX-7 FB developed a strong following among enthusiasts, particularly those who appreciate lightweight analog driving experiences. Unlike modern cars filled with electronic aids, the FB was all about the driver's connection to the road. It demanded skill and attention, rewarding those who put in the effort with an unparalleled sense of involvement. Today, the first-generation RX-7 is increasingly recognized as a classic in its own right. Clean, unmodified examples are becoming harder to find, and their values are steadily rising. Enthusiasts who own or have driven one often speak of the car with reverence, citing its purity and balance as qualities that modern sports cars often lack. It's a car that reminds you of a time when driving was about feel, not features. Owner's comment: "It felt like a go-kart for the street. Pure, unfiltered fun." This sums up the RX-7 FB perfectly. It wasn't about horsepower figures or flashy gadgets. It was about the joy of driving. The rotary engine's unique characteristics, combined with the car's featherweight chassis, created an experience that was as exhilarating as it was engaging. For those lucky enough to have driven or owned one, the first-generation RX-7 remains one symbol of Mazda's daring spirit, and a reminder of why simplicity and balance matter in a sports car. Shocker. Porsche 914, 1969 to 1976. Why it's underrated. The Porsche 914, often referred to as the Volks Porsche, stands as one of the most misunderstood models in Porsche's history. Born out of a unique collaboration between Porsche and Volkswagen, the 914 was initially intended to fill a gap in both companies' lineups. For Volkswagen, it would be a sporty, affordable flagship. For Porsche, an entry-level model to replace the aging 912. What resulted was a car that, while polarizing in its day, has since gained a devoted following and a reputation as a true driver's car. At its core, the 914's design philosophy was revolutionary. It was Porsche's first mid-engine production car, a layout that would later become the standard for many of the world's greatest sports cars. By placing the engine between the seats and the rear axle, the 914 achieved a level of balance and handling precision that was almost unheard of in affordable sports cars at the time. The car's low curb weight of around for 2,100 pounds, 950 kilograms, further enhanced its agility, allowing it to dart through corners with an eagerness that belied its modest power figures. Engine options varied, with the most common being a 1.7-liter flat-4 sourced from Volkswagen, producing a humble 680 horsepower. Critics were quick to dismiss the car as underpowered, particularly when compared to Porsche's more illustrious 911. However, those who spent time behind the wheel quickly realized that the 914's true strength lay in its handling and driving dynamics. Later models featured a 2.0-liter flat-4, and a select few lucky buyers even got their hands on the 914/6-turbo C variant, which packed a 2.0-liter flat-6 engine from the 911T, offering significantly more performance and turning the car into a legitimate giant killer on the track. Visually, the 914 was a departure from Porsche's curvaceous designs. Its boxy, angular shape and targa-top roof gave it a unique, almost futuristic appearance. While some criticized the styling as too plain or utilitarian, others appreciated its clean, minimalist lines. The removable roof panel added a dose of open-air fun, making the 914 feel more exotic than its price tag suggested. Inside, the cabin was Spartan but functional, with a focus on Romeo and driver engagement, rather than luxury. Despite its many strengths, the 914 faced an uphill battle in the marketplace. Purists scoffed at the Volkswagen connection, and the car's pricing often placed it uncomfortably close to the more prestigious 911. Additionally, early reliability issues and build quality concerns didn't help its cause. However, for those who looked past the badge and focused on the driving experience, the 914 delivered thrills that few other cars in its class could match. In recent years, the 914 has undergone a renaissance among enthusiasts and collectors. As prices for classic 911s have skyrocketed, the 914 has emerged as an attractive alternative for those seeking an authentic Porsche experience without breaking the bank. Its mid-engine layout, rarity, and connection to Porsche's racing heritage have earned it newfound respect. Restored examples, particularly the 914/6, are now highly sought after, with values climbing steadily. The 914 also enjoys a vibrant community of passionate owners who appreciate its quirks and character. Many have embraced the car's potential for modification, swapping in more powerful engines or upgrading suspension components to enhance performance. The 914's simple mechanical layout and extensive parts availability make it a favorite among DIY enthusiasts and weekend tinkerers. Owners comment: "People laughed when I said it was a Porsche until they saw it in action." Indeed, the 914's unassuming appearance often led to underestimation, but on a twisty back road or a tight autocross course, the car's balance and agility left skeptics in the dust. It's a car that rewards skill and precision, offering a pure, unfiltered connection to the road that modern sports cars often lack. For those who value the driving enjoyment over outright power, the 914 is a hidden gem, a reminder that sometimes the best cars are the ones that focus on more simplicity and balance, rather than brute force. Today, the Porsche 914 stands as a testament to Porsche's innovative spirit and willingness to take risks. It may not have been universally loved in its time, but its enduring appeal and growing fan base prove that true greatness isn't always recognized immediately. Toyota MR 2AW11, 1984 to 1989. Why it's underrated. The Toyota MR2 AW11, introduced in 1984, marked Toyota's bold entry into the mid-engine sports car market. While Japanese automakers were known for building reliable, practical vehicles, the MR2 proved that they could also produce a thrilling driver's car. Its raw, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive layout, combined with Toyota's renowned reliability, created a vehicle that was as engaging on the road as it was affordable to own. The MR2's most striking feature was its balance and handling. Thanks to its mid-engine configuration and lightweight construction, it offered a driving experience typically reserved for far more expensive sports cars. The AW11 tipped the scales at just over 2,200 pounds, 1,000 kilograms, making it nimble and responsive in corners. The suspension setup, developed with input from Lotus, ensured sharp handling with minimal body roll and a delightful eagerness to change direction. Enthusiasts often describe it as a Ruri go-kart for the streets, a car that rewards precision and confidence behind the wheel. Power came from the legendary 1.6-liter 4AGE engine, a twin-cam, 16-valve inline-4 that revved eagerly and produced around 112 horsepower in naturally aspirated form. While those numbers might seem modest today, the engine's willingness to rev and the car's lightweight nature made it feel faster than it was. For those seeking more punch, Toyota offered a supercharged version from 1986, boosting output to 145 horsepower and transforming the MR2 into a genuine pocket rocket. Visually, the MR2's boxy, angular design was a product of its time. The sharp lines, pop-up headlights, and distinctive wedge shape gave it a futuristic, almost cyberpunk look. Some found the design quirky, while others appreciated its functional simplicity. Inside, the cabin was driver-focused. With a low seating position, a simple dashboard layout, and excellent visibility, creating a cockpit-like feel that enhanced the driving experience. Despite its many strengths, the MR2's mid-engine layout came with its own set of challenges. The rear weight bias meant that while the car handled beautifully in skilled hands, it could be unforgiving if pushed too hard or driven recklessly, particularly in wet or slippery conditions. The phrase, "snap over steer," became a common talking point among MR2 enthusiasts, referring to the car's tendency to lose grip at the rear when traction was broken. However, for those who respected its limits, the MR2 was an incredibly rewarding car to drive. In terms of practicality, the MR2 offered more than one might expect from a mid-engine sports car. It had two trunks, a small front compartment, and a larger space behind the engine, providing enough room for weekend getaways. Its fuel efficiency was also commendable, thanks to its small engine and lightweight design, making it a surprisingly economical choice for a sports car. Why it's underrated. While the MR2 gained a loyal following, it was often overshadowed by more powerful and expensive rivals. However, its blend of affordability, reliability, and driving fun has helped it earn a cult status in recent years. Today, the AW11 is recognized as a pioneer of the affordable mid-engine sports car, paving the way for future iterations of the MR2 and inspiring competitors to follow suit. Its rare durability and ease of maintenance also set it apart from many European sports cars of the era, which often required costly repairs and meticulous upkeep. As classic car enthusiasts seek out lightweight, analog driving experiences, the MR2's appeal continues to grow. Prices for clean, unmodified examples are steadily rising, driven by a renewed appreciation for its unique combination of performance, design, and reliability. Enthusiasts value its Toyota pedigree and bulletproof engineering, which allow them to enjoy spirited driving without the fear of constant breakdowns or sky-high maintenance costs. Owners comment, "It's like a mini Ferrari, but you can actually afford the maintenance." Indeed, the MR2 offered a taste of mid-engine exotica at a fraction of the cost. It provided thrills comparable to much more expensive sports cars while maintaining the reliability and affordability that Toyota is known for. For many, it was a dream car that didn't require a lottery win to own or maintain. The AW11's legacy lives on as one of the purest expressions of Toyota's commitment to engineering excellence and driving pleasure. Whether carving up a mountain road or tackling a local autocross course, the first-generation MR2 remains a joy to drive and a testament to the idea that driving fun doesn't have to come with a hefty price tag. Shirasha Alfa Romeo GT-V6, 1980 to 1987. Why it's underrated. The Canon Alfa Romeo GT-V6 is a prime example of a car that embodies the soulful passion of Italian motoring. Built on the Alfetta platform, it combines sharp Giugiaro pen lines with a mechanical layout that prioritizes driving pleasure. While its stunning Key Bertone styling and intoxicating engine note earned it praise, its reputation was marred by concerns about reliability. However, for those willing to invest time and care, the GT-V6 is a hidden gem that offers one of the most engaging driving experiences of its era. The standout feature of the GT-V6 is its 2.5-liter V6 engine, a jewel of a power plant, dubbed the Busso 56. After its designer, Giuseppe Busso, this engine is legendary for its smoothness and sound, producing around 160 horsepower. It wasn't the most powerful engine of the time, but what it lacked in outright grunt, it made up for with character. The pre-wine rasping operatic exhaust note is often described as one of the best-sounding V6 engines ever made, turning even mundane drives into symphonic events. The throttle response was sharp, and the engine loved to rev, making it a joy to exploit on winding roads. Mechanically, the GT-V6 employed an Euro-advanced drivetrain layout that set it apart from many of its contemporaries. It featured a rear-mounted transaxle, a combination of the gearbox and differential, which contributed to a near 50-50 weight distribution. This balanced layout, combined with its double wishbone front suspension and Didion rear axle, gave the GT-V6 remarkable handling. It felt planted and predictable in corners, offering a level of feedback and engagement that endeared it to enthusiasts. The steering, while heavy at low speeds, was full of feel, communicating every nuance of the road surface. Aesthetically, the GT-V6's design is both aggressive and elegant. The signature scalloped hood bulge was introduced to accommodate the larger V6 engine, giving the car a distinctive, purposeful look. Its angular lines, flared wheel arches, and slim chrome bumpers perfectly captured the essence of 1980s Italian design. The interior, though Spartan by today's standards, featured supportive seats, a classic Alfa 3-spoke steering wheel, and a driver-centric dashboard that emphasized function over form. The seating position was low and sporty, enhancing the sense of connection with the car. Challenges and criticism. The GT6's Achilles heel has always been reliability. Like many Italian cars of the era, it required diligent maintenance and a sympathetic owner. Electrical issues were common, and the transaxle setup, while brilliant for handling, was prone to wear and tear. Rust was another persistent issue, especially in damp climates. Owners often joke that owning a GT6 is a test of patience and devotion, but those who persevere are rewarded with a driving experience that few cars can match. Cultural impact and motorsport pedigree. Despite its flaws, the GT6 enjoyed success in motorsport, particularly in touring car racing. It dominated the Russia European Touring Car Championship, ETCC. In the mid-1980s, with drivers like Gianfranco Brancatelli and Mauro Baldi showcasing its prowess on the track, the car's racing success bolstered its reputation among enthusiasts, proving that, when properly sorted, the GT6 could punch well above its weight. It also earned a cameo in on James Bond's Octopussy, 1983, further cementing its status as a cultural icon. Why enthusiasts love it today? In recent years, the GT6 has seen a resurgence in popularity. Classic car aficionados have come to appreciate its raw, analog driving experience, something that's increasingly rare in modern cars. The combination of its stunning looks, a soulful engine, and engaging dynamics makes it a sought-after classic. Prices for well-maintained examples have been climbing steadily, but the GT6 remains relatively affordable compared to other performance cars from the same era. Owners comment: every drive feels like an event. Sure, it needs TLC, but it rewards you. This sentiment perfectly encapsulates the Alfa Romeo GT6 experience. It's not a car for those seeking trouble-free motoring, but for those who value passion, character, and connection. And it's hard to beat. The GT6 offers a sense of occasion every time you fire up the Busso V6 and head out on the open road. It's a car that demands involvement and rewards commitment, making it a true enthusiast machine. Shukafram. Conclusion. The Alfa Romeo GT6 is a testament to the idea that cars are more than just machines. They're emotional experiences. While it may not have the polish or reliability of some competitors, it more than compensates with its beauty, charm, and driving pleasure. For those who understand its quirks and are willing to embrace its imperfections, new Chevrolet Corvair Monza Spyder, 1962 to 1964. Why it's underrated. The Chevrolet Corvair Monza Spyder stands out as one of the most innovative and misunderstood cars in American automotive history. Introduced in an era dominated by front-engine, rear-wheel drive layouts, the Corvair broke the mold with its rear-engine, air-cooled design, reminiscent of European cars like the Porsche 356 and Volkswagen Beetle. What made the Monza Spyder even more special was its Corvair factory turbocharger, a groundbreaking feature at the time, as it was one of the first mass-produced turbocharged cars in the world. The Monza Spyder's turbocharged 2.7-liter flat-six engine produced 150 horsepower, a significant boost over the standard Corvair's output. This turbocharged setup gave the car lively acceleration and a unique character, making it feel more like a nimble European sports car than a typical American cruiser. The turbo was paired with a 4-speed manual transmission, offering an engaging driving experience that enthusiasts appreciated. Performance and driving experience. On the road, the Corvair Monza Spyder delivered a driving experience that was both exciting and distinctive. Thanks to its rear-engine layout, the car had a light front end, which made for responsive steering and a balanced feel in corners. However, the car's handling could be tricky at the limit, especially for drivers unfamiliar with the dynamics of a rear-engine platform. When driven skillfully, though, the Monza Spyder rewarded with a sense of agility that was rare in American cars of its time. The turbocharger added an element of drama, with noticeable turbo lag followed by a satisfying surge of power as boost built up. While modern turbocharged engines are refined and smooth, the Monza Spider's turbo setup felt more visceral and mechanical, adding to the car's charm. The engine's air-cooled nature also gave it a unique sound, a mix of mechanical whirring and turbo hiss that set it apart from the typical V8 rumble of its contemporaries. Trunkerschrennen. Design and interior. The Corvair Monza Spider's design was sleek and understated, with clean lines and subtle curves. The convertible and coupe body styles gave it a sporty flair, especially with the optional wire wheel covers and bright chrome accents. Inside, the Monza Spider featured a sporty interior with bucket seats, a special instrument cluster that included a boost gauge, and a 3-spoke steering wheel. The dashboard was simple but functional, reflecting a more European approach to car design. The Monza package elevated the Corvair's appeal, targeting a younger, sportier audience. It's often credited with helping to establish the idea of the affordable American sports car, laying the groundwork for models like the Ford Mustang. Durchstory, safety controversy and legacy. The Corvair's legacy, unfortunately, is overshadowed by the controversy sparked by Ralph Nader's 1965 book, Unsafe at Any Speed, which criticized the early Corvair's handling and safety. The Monza Spider, however, was part of the second-generation suspension update that improved stability and handling. Despite these improvements, the damage to the Corvair's reputation was done, and the car's innovative engineering was often overlooked in favor of its perceived flaws. Enthusiasts today recognize that the Corvair Monza Spider's safety issues were exaggerated, and that, when properly maintained and driven with care, it's a rewarding and capable classic. The Corvair's innovative engineering, from its wireless rear-mounted flat-six engine to its turbocharging, has earned it a cult following among collectors and fans of unique American cars. Why it's a classic today. In the modern era, the Corvair Monza Spider is celebrated for its bold engineering and distinctive character. It's a car that dared to be different, offering a driving experience that was more about finesse and balance than brute force. For collectors, the Monza Spider represents a piece of automotive history, a car that challenged conventions and paved the way for future innovations in turbocharging and lightweight design. Owner's comment: it's misunderstood, but once you drive one, you get it. This sentiment captures the essence of the Corvair Monza Spider. It's a car that demands an open mind and an appreciation for its quirks. Once behind the wheel, drivers quickly realize that the Monza Spider is a car that rewards skill and offers a driving experience unlike anything else from its era. Conclusion: the Chevrolet Corvair Monza Spider is a reminder that innovation often comes with risk. Its combination of a wide rear engine layout, air-cooled flat-six, and turbocharging made it a standout in the American car market, even if it faced challenges along the way. The Nissan 300ZX Z31, which debuted in 1983 and continued through 1989, stands as a significant yet often overlooked chapter in the Z car legacy. Often overshadowed by the more iconic 240Z and the later 300ZX Z32, the Z31 is a car that deserves far more recognition. While it may not have been the instant classic that some expected, its blend of technological innovation, performance, and styling makes it an enduring standout in the sports car world. From a design perspective, the Z31 is a distinctive creation. Nissan's design team, led by Kazumasa Takagi, crafted a car that was far more angular and aggressive compared to the soft curves of the previous Z cars. The Wernerari wedge-shaped profile, along with the bold, pop-up headlights, created an instantly recognizable silhouette that captured the essence of 1980s automotive styling. While some critics were skeptical of its boxy proportions, there's no denying that the Z31 had a striking visual presence on the road. This was a car that was meant to look fast, even when standing still. The The Z31 also marked the transition to a more refined, high-tech sports car. Inside, it was an embodiment of 1980s luxury and innovation, with features that were groundbreaking for the time. The digital dashboard Marilyn was particularly noteworthy, featuring readouts for speed, fuel, and other vital information on an easy-to-read display. This combined with keyless entry, premium sound systems, best in air conditioning, positioned the Z31 as a high-tech luxury sports car. It wasn't just about performance. It was about convenience, comfort, and style. Under the hood, the Washington 300ZX offered significant improvements over its predecessors, particularly with the introduction of the VG30 V6 engine. The base engine was a 3.0-liter, naturally aspirated V6, but the real excitement came with a turbocharged VG30 engine, which produced 200 horsepower in the later models, making the Z31 a serious contender in the performance car market. This turbocharged engine, paired with a powery 5-speed manual transmission, or the optional automatic, offered exceptional acceleration and top-end speed for its time. Even today, the Z31's performance figures stand up remarkably well against other cars from the era. But performance wasn't just about straight-line speed. The retro rear-wheel drive layout, coupled with independent rear suspension and a well-tuned chassis, gave the 300ZX fantastic handling capabilities. Whether on twisty mountain roads or open highways, the Z31's handling was poised and precise, making it a true driver's car. The car's low curb weight and excellent weight distribution helped make it agile, while its tuned suspension absorbed the road with a level of refinement that was uncommon in cars of its price range. Perhaps one of the Z31's greatest selling points, however, was its practicality. While sports cars of the era often sacrificed comfort for performance, the 300ZX found a balance. The front to top roof, an option available on many of the models, allowed for an open-air experience, giving owners the best of both worlds. The thrill of a convertible combined with the comfort and rigidity of a coupe. Inside, there was plenty of room for 2 passengers, and the well-appointed interior meant that long drives weren't a chore. Despite its many strengths, the Z31 never quite captured the cultural attention of its predecessor, the 240Z, or the later Z32. There was a certain stigma attached to it, largely because of its somewhat divisive styling and the emergence of more advanced cars like the Toyota Supra and Mazda RX-7. Additionally, the turbocharged model suffered from early reliability issues, particularly with the turbocharger system and electrical components, which caused some buyers to shy away. However, enthusiasts who stuck with the Z31 found that it had a lot to offer. Its turbocharged performance, solid build, and driving dynamics made it a car that could be appreciated by those who were willing to overlook its quirks. Today, the Nissan 300ZX Z31 is experiencing a resurgence in appreciation. With its unique styling, strong performance, and distinctive 1980s character, it has become a beloved classic among collectors and driving enthusiasts. It's a car that speaks to the era from which it came, offering a unique driving experience that stands out from the more polished, modern sports cars of today. In fact, the Z31 is often described as a quiet sleeper, a car that may not immediately impress on paper, but once driven, reveals just how capable and thrilling it truly is. For those looking for an affordable classic that offers a truly enjoyable driving experience, the Z31 remains a hidden gem. It may not be the first car that comes to mind when discussing the Z car lineage, but it certainly belongs among the greats. The Z31 is a car that rewards those who give it a chance. The Lotus Europa, 1966 to 1975, is one of the most intriguing cars in Lotus's history. While it may not carry the same fame as models like the Elise or the Esprit, the Europa holds a unique place in automotive lore, often being overlooked in favor of more glamorous, headline-grabbing Lotus models. What the Europa lacked in conventional beauty, it more than made up for with its extraordinary handling, and lightweight performance, making it a true enthusiast car. When the Europa was introduced in 1966, it was unlike anything seen before. At first glance, its design seemed unconventional, even awkward. With a low-slung body, a curved roofline, and elongated rear, it was not the type of car that immediately drew attention on looks alone. The Europa's aesthetics were certainly an acquired taste. And for some, the car's odd proportions and quirky styling overshadowed its capabilities. But as with many cars from Lotus, the Europa's genius lay beneath its unassuming surface. What really set the Europa apart from other cars of its time was its mid-engine layout. This was a setup that had become a hallmark of Lotus, allowing for superior handling dynamics and an unparalleled driving experience. The mid-mounted engine, paired with the car's lightweight, created an ideal balance for handling, offering a degree of agility that was the envy of many sports cars. The Europa's lightweight and fiberglass body, designed to minimize weight while maintaining strength, ensured that the car was quick and nimble, with the ability to corner at incredible speeds without losing composure. This handling prowess made it a favorite among driving purists, even if its distinctive, somewhat awkward design failed to capture the imagination of mainstream buyers. The engine in the Europa was nothing to scoff at either, initially powered by a 1.5-liter Renault engine. In the Series 1, the car's lightweight construction and mid-engine setup made it feel faster than its modest power output might suggest. Later, the Series 2 Europa was upgraded with a more potent 1.6-liter engine, improving both its performance and driving experience. Though it wasn't a supercar in terms of outright speed, the Europa made up for it in the sheer joy of driving. Its tight, responsive steering, coupled with the ability to carve corners effortlessly, made it a car that was truly designed for the road, not for the showroom floor or magazine covers. One of the key aspects of the Europa's appeal, especially in the context of its underrated status, is its handling and driver engagement. Unlike more glamorous sports cars of the era that prioritized style or raw power, the Europa was built for the driving enthusiasts who appreciated precision and finesse over brute force. The car's suspension and handling dynamics were far ahead of its time, allowing it to outshine many rivals in terms of road holding and driving pleasure. The car's lightweight, nimble feel, along with the mid-engine configuration, gave the Europa an edge on winding, twisty roads, something that many more powerful cars could not match. Despite its exceptional handling, the Europa was often overshadowed by other Lotus models. Its odd styling, combined with its relatively modest engine, meant that it wasn't as glamorous or marketable as the Lotus Elan or the Esprit Santé, which featured more conventional looks and flashier performance. As a result, it was seen as more of a niche product, a car that was favored by driving purists and enthusiasts, but largely ignored by the general public. What the Europa lacked in glamour, however, it more than made up for in driving satisfaction. It's easy to see why those who did give the Europa a chance found it irresistible. Its quirky design became part of its charm, and its true greatness was found in the way it handled on the road. For those who appreciate a car that prioritizes driving dynamics, above all else, the Europa represents one of the best driver's cars of its era, an example of Lotus's commitment to creating lightweight, agile cars that reward skilled drivers with a thrilling experience. Today, the Lotus Europa has a dedicated following, and its status as an underrated classic is becoming more widely recognized. Though it never achieved the same fame as other cars from Lotus or its contemporaries, the Europa has earned its place as a hidden gem in the automotive world. Those fortunate enough to experience it firsthand often remark on its remarkable handling and the joy it brings behind the wheel. The Europa's legacy, for those who truly understand its value, will always be tied to its ability to deliver an unmatched driving experience, making it an enduring favorite for those in the know. The Subaru SVX 1991 to 1997 is a true automotive oddity, a car that has only gained recognition for its uniqueness and daring design in the years since its production. While Subaru is primarily known for its rugged all-wheel drive vehicles and rally cars, the SVX was a departure from the brand's typical offerings. The SVX was Subaru's bold foray into the luxury sports coupe market, combining advanced features with a strikingly futuristic design. However, despite its innovation, the car never captured the widespread popularity Subaru hoped for, leaving it as one of the more underrated cars of the 1990s. At first glance, the SVX's design stands out immediately, with its rectangular, swooping lines and a massive side window that encased the passenger cabin. The SVX's aesthetics were groundbreaking for its time. The bold styling was the work of the legendary automotive designer Giugiaro, and its futuristic, spaceship-like appearance turned heads, although it was divisive. While some adored its bold looks, others found its design too radical and impractical, particularly the window within a window arrangement, which gave the car an incredibly distinctive, yet somewhat unconventional appearance. The SVX's appearance has aged well, though, and its daring lines now feel prescient, making it a cult classic among car enthusiasts. Beneath the surface, the SVX was ahead of its time. Its 3.3-liter flat-six engine, a hallmark of Subaru's engineering, offered a smooth and powerful driving experience, delivering around 230 horsepower, which was plenty for a car of its size. The flat six was paired with an automatic transmission, and the SVX offered all-wheel drive (AWD) as a standard feature, making it one of the few cars in its segment to feature this trait. AWD was Subaru's signature, but in the case of the SVX, it gave the car a blend of luxury and sporty dynamics that was difficult to match. Despite its relatively modest output by today's standards, the SVX was surprisingly quick, with a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of around 7 seconds. This performance, paired with the smooth power delivery of the flat six, created a driving experience that was refined yet athletic. The handling, however, wasn't its forte. It wasn't as sharp as its competitors in the luxury coupe market, but its AWD system provided great stability, especially in inclement weather, giving it a certain edge in terms of versatility that most rear-wheel drive competitors lacked. One of the defining features of the SVX was the way it combined luxury and performance. Subaru aimed for a premium feel with the SVX, using the high-quality materials and advanced features that were uncommon for the brand at the time. Leather upholstery, air conditioning, power accessories, and a digital instrument cluster were all part of the package. In terms of technology, the SVX was equipped with features such as a sunroof, a Bosch premium sound system, and even optional leather seating. While it wasn't exactly a luxury car, in the traditional sense, and Subaru's reputation for affordability was hard to shake, it did offer a level of refinement that made it stand out from Subaru's other offerings. Despite all its innovations, the SVX struggled to find an audience. It was a bit too unusual and a bit too expensive for the typical Subaru buyer, who was more inclined toward practical, utilitarian cars. Its high price tag also meant that it was often compared to competitors like the Chevrolet Corvette, the Ford Thunderbird, and their Mazda RX-7, which offered superior performance in some cases. Fuel economy was also an issue for the SVX, as its large engine and AWD system meant it was a bit of a gas guzzler compared to its rivals. In the end, the SVX was too niche for most buyers and too unconventional for those expecting a traditional sports coupe. In terms of production, only around 14,000 units were sold in the US, and the model was discontinued in 1997. Today, the SVX remains a rare finder on the roads, with a dedicated group of enthusiasts who appreciate its bold design and distinctive features. It has earned a following, especially among fans of Subaru and those with an appreciation for the more eccentric side of automotive history. The SVX's legacy is that of a car that tried to do something different and push boundaries in terms of design, engineering, and performance. It's often viewed as a misunderstood gem, with many enthusiasts considering it a futuristic car that was ahead of its time. Owner's comment: it's a spaceship on wheels, and it's surprisingly quick. The Mitsubishi Starion, sold in North America as the Chrysler Conquest from 1984 to 1989, is a performance car that often gets overlooked in the discussion of 1980s turbocharged legends. Despite its aggressive styling, a powerful turbocharged engine, and rear-wheel driver's layout, the Starion Conquest tends to be forgotten, overshadowed by better-known rivals like the Toyota Supra and Nissan 300 ZX. Still, this underrated gem was a legitimate performance machine that made a lasting impact on car enthusiasts who recognized its capabilities. The Starion Conquest was powered by a Warmer 2.6-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine, which produced anywhere from 135 to 190 horsepower, depending on the trim and market. In an era where turbocharged engines were becoming more prevalent, this setup gave the Starion serious street cred and made it a formidable competitor in the performance car world. The turbo lag was present but manageable, and once it spooled up, the car surged forward with a surprising amount of acceleration. In a straight line, the Starion Conquest could go toe-to-toe with other more famous turbocharged cars, like the Ford Mustang SVO and a Mazda RX-7 Turbo. One of the standout aspects of the Starion was its aggressive styling. It wore the 1980s look with pride, featuring sharp angles, flared fenders, a wide stance, and a low, intimidating profile that made it look like it was built for speed, even when standing still. The car's raw and boxy shape and prominent front end made it instantly recognizable, and in an era filled with curvy and rounded designs, the Starion stood out as an angular, no-nonsense machine. The wide body design also helped improve its hardy handling, giving the car a planted stance on the road. The rear-wheel drive layout meant that the Starion Conquest had the classic recipe for a true sports car, allowing it to handle corners with precision and offer a more dynamic driving experience compared to front-wheel drive competitors of the time. With solid suspension, firm handling, and relatively light steering, it was a joy to drive on twisty roads. The handling was sharp but approachable, with a balance that would appeal to both experienced drivers and enthusiasts who were just discovering the thrill of performance cars. In terms of interior, the Starion Conquest wasn't overly luxurious but was well equipped for the time. It offered sporty bucket seats, a functional dashboard, and a driver-oriented cockpit that kept things simple and focused on the driving experience. While the interior wasn't as polished as some of its competitors, it matched the car's rough-around-the-edges personality and wasn't a deal-breaker for those seeking performance over luxury. One of the reasons the Starion Conquest is underrated is that it wasn't marketed as widely or aggressively as its rivals. Mitsubishi and Chrysler didn't push the car the way Toyota and Nissan did with their more famous models. As a result, the Starion Conquest had a smaller following and was often overshadowed by the established sports cars of the era. But for those who took the time to experience it, the car was a revelation, offering great performance at a more affordable price point compared to many of its competitors. Despite its relative obscurity, the Starion Conquest is now being recognized as a cult classic. Its turbocharged powertrain, aggressive design, and fun-to-drive nature make it an appealing choice for enthusiasts who are into 80s performance cars. The car was also ahead of its time in terms of technology, with features like intercoolers, boost gauges, and air conditioning that were often reserved for higher-end performance cars. It's a car that was ahead of its time in terms of performance and remains a gem for those who appreciate the unique cars of the era. Today, the Starion Conquest is gaining traction as a true, underappreciated classic, especially among fans of Japanese performance cars. It may not have the same widespread recognition as its more famous contemporaries, but its loyal fan base and increasing value are a testament to its lasting appeal. Owners comment: "It looks like a 1980s dream and drives like one too." The BMW Z3 Coupe, 1998 to 2002, affectionately nicknamed the clown shoe due to its distinctive, boxy rear-end design, is one of the most underrated performance cars of its era. While it was divisive in terms of styling, its own performance and chassis rigidity has made it an extraordinary driving experience. The Z3 Coupe may have been overshadowed by the more popular Z3 Roadster and never truly embraced by the mainstream, but it holds a special place among driving enthusiasts today. The Z3 Coupe was a unique experiment from BMW, blending the practicality of a hatchback with the thrills of a roadster, but in a much more functional, aggressive package. It stood out with its futuristic, yet quirky design that was unlike anything else on the road at the time. While some dismissed the coupe for its unconventional looks, many came to appreciate it for what it truly was: a well-engineered, performance-oriented vehicle that was ahead of its time. The Z3 Coupe was based on the same platform as the Mitsubishi Starion Roadster, but with a significant focus on performance and driving dynamics. The 1M version counter of the coupe, which was produced from 1999 to 2002, was especially lauded for its outstanding driving experience. It featured a 3.2-liter inline-six engine, producing 240 horsepower and 236 pound-feet of torque, which gave it plenty of power for both spirited driving and highway cruising. The car's performance was complemented by its sharp handling, thanks to a rigid chassis, having a perfect weight distribution, and a manual transmission that provided an immediate connection between the driver and the road. One of the standout aspects of the Z3 Coupe was its M differential and rear-wheel drive layout, which allowed for exceptional handling and control. Its rigid rear end and a lightweight construction meant the car felt nimble and responsive, even when pushed to its limits. The car's sporty suspension and quick steering rack also made it one of the best driving cars in its class, offering exceptional road feedback and a thrilling driving experience. The 1M version of the Z3 Coupe was particularly remarkable for its performance credentials. Despite its hatchback styling and unusual appearance, the M Coupe's straight-line performance and any cornering capabilities rivaled many traditional sports cars. It could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 5 seconds. Thanks to its potent inline-six and tight handling package, the car's mechanicals were designed to offer true sports car dynamics, with brilliant braking and precise cornering. It was a car that loved to be driven hard, and it delivered every time, making it an unforgettable experience for anyone who sat behind the wheel. The interior of the Z3 Coupe reflected BMW's commitment to driver engagement. It was simple, well-organized, and focused on functionality. The bucket seats were comfortable and offered great support, while the controls were intuitive and easy to use, making it a pleasure to operate. The coupe's hatchback design also provided surprising practicality with ample cargo space for a vehicle of its size, a feature often overlooked when people focus on its performance attributes. However, despite its incredible driving experience and performance capabilities, the Z3 Coupe was never widely embraced by the public. Its polarizing styling, which contrasted with the more traditional roadster design of the Z3, meant that it never gained the same level of popularity. Many car buyers simply couldn't see past its unconventional rear-end design, and as a result, fewer of these cars were sold. The M Coupe, in particular, was even more rare, further limiting its exposure and creating a situation where it became a cult classic, and for those who truly understood its value. As time has passed, the Z3 Coupe has gained recognition as a hidden gem. The Volkswagen Coupe line, in particular, is now regarded as one of the best driving cars of its era, with a dedicated following of enthusiasts who appreciate its raw performance, chassis, rigidity, and quirky design. In a time when so many cars have become more refined and homogenized, the Z3 Coupe stands out for its ability to provide an unfiltered driving experience that prioritizes driver connection over luxury or convenience. Today, the BMW Z3 Coupe, stunning, especially the M version, is gaining traction as a true modern classic. Its unusual design, rugged performance, and practical hatchback styling have made it a sought-after car for those who appreciate driving for the sake of driving. Owners comment, "People stare, but once you're behind the wheel, you understand." Saab 900 Turbo, 1978 to 1993. The Saab 900 Turbo stands as one of the most intriguing and unconventional cars of its era. Born from a company with deep roots in aviation, it brought a level of innovation and engineering that set it apart from other sports and luxury vehicles. Saab's philosophy was not about following trends, but about creating a car that was uniquely practical, safe, and thrilling to drive. The result was a turbocharged front-wheel drive masterpiece that balanced power with everyday usability in a way few cars manage. At first glance, the Saab 900 Turbo's design seemed eccentric, even awkward to some. It featured a long, sloping hood, a sharply angled windshield, and a high roofline that defied the sleek, low-slung profile typical of sports cars. But every element of the design had a purpose. The wraparound windshield provided panoramic visibility, making it easier to navigate tight corners in tricky weather conditions. The long overhangs and upright stance weren't for aesthetics. They improved aerodynamics and maximized interior space. The hatchback design, especially in the three-door model, added an element of practicality rarely seen in performance cars. Inside, the 900 Turbo continued its theme of functionality mixed with flair. The cabin was driver-centric, with the dashboard tilted towards the pilot. Saab's famous night panel feature allowed drivers to dim all but the essential instruments at night, reducing distractions and enhancing focus. The seats were orthopedic masterpieces, designed for long-distance comfort and wrapped in durable materials that stood up to harsh Nordic winters. The ignition, placed between the front seats, wasn't just quirky, it was a deliberate move to reduce the risk of knee injuries and accidents. Under the hood, the 900 Turbo packed a punch. Its 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine was a marvel of engineering. In an era when turbocharging was still exotic, Saab perfected the art, delivering smooth power delivery and impressive torque. Unlike many early turbos plagued by lag, the Saab's engine provided a more linear acceleration, making it easier to harness the power in real-world driving. The front-wheel drive layout, paired with a well-tuned suspension and a sturdy chassis, ensured excellent handling and traction, even in slippery conditions. This made the 900 Turbo not just a fair-weather friend, but a true all-weather performer. One of the most memorable aspects of driving a Saab 900 Turbo was the feeling of turbo boost. As the revs climbed and the turbo spooled up, there was a palpable surge of power that transformed the car from a sedate cruiser into a rapid, exhilarating machine. It wasn't the fastest car on paper, but the driving experience was immersive and rewarding. Reliability and safety were other key selling points. Saab's engineers went to great lengths to make the 900 Turbo robust and crash-resistant. The car featured innovations like crumple zones, side impact protection, and even a front end designed to reduce injuries to pedestrians. These features were ahead of their time and reflected Saab's commitment to safety long before it became a marketing buzzword. Despite its many strengths, the 900 Turbo was often misunderstood. It didn't fit neatly into any one category. It wasn't a traditional sports car, a luxury sedan, or a typical hatchback. It was all of these things and none of them. For those who valued individuality and engineering over fashion, the Saab 900 Turbo was a revelation. It developed a cult following among enthusiasts who appreciated its quirks and capabilities. Owners comment, Owning a Saab 900 Turbo is like having a loyal, slightly eccentric friend. It's not flashy, but it has character in spades. The turbo boost never gets old, and the way it handles corners makes you feel like a rally driver. Sure, it needs maintenance and a bit of patience, but it rewards you every time you take it out for a drive. Today, the Saab 900 Turbo is remembered as a pioneer in turbocharged performance and a testament to Saab's unconventional approach to car design. It remains a beloved classic for those who appreciate a car that dares to be different. For these enthusiasts, the 900 Turbo is not just a car, it's a statement of individuality and a celebration of engineering ingenuity. Datsun 510, 1968 to 1973. The Datsun 510, often affectionately dubbed the poor man's BMW, was a game-changer in the affordable performance car market. At a time when Japanese cars were often dismissed as mere economy boxes, the 510 shattered that stereotype by delivering a blend of performance, practicality, and durability that rivaled more expensive European offerings. Nissan, then Datsun, designed the 510 with an eye on the global market, and its success in both sales and motorsport proved that they had crafted something special. At first glance, the 510 might appear modest. Its design was clean and unassuming, with boxy lines, round headlights, and a grille that looked more utilitarian than sporty. However, this simplicity was part of its charm. The minimalist styling gave the car a timeless appeal, and its proportions were just right. A compact sedan with a purposeful stance. Available in two-door, four-door, and wagon variants, the 510 catered to a wide range of buyers, from families looking for an economical daily driver to enthusiasts seeking a fun, rear-wheel drive platform. Where the Datsun 510 truly shone was underneath its modest exterior. Power came from a 1.6-liter inline-4 engine derived from the same technology found in Datsun's Roadsters. With overhead camshafts and solid engineering, the engine was both rev-happy and robust. While the stock horsepower figures weren't earth-shattering, the car's lightweight made the most of every pony. The rear-wheel drive layout, combined with fully independent suspension, a rarity in its class at the time, gave the 510 handling characteristics that were leagues ahead of many of its competitors. This independent rear suspension set the 510 apart. While most economy cars of the era relied on solid rear axles, the 510's setup allowed for better grip, balance, and predictability in corners. It wasn't just a commuter car, it was a driver's car. Enthusiasts quickly discovered that the 510 could be pushed hard on twisty roads, and it responded with poise and confidence. Its balanced chassis and communicative steering made it a joy to drive, even at lower speeds. The 510's reputation was further bolstered by its success in motorsports. Legendary racer and team owner Peter Brock campaigned the 510 in Trans Am racing, where it went head-to-head with much larger and more powerful cars. Against the odds, the 510 found success, proving that a well-sorted chassis and clever engineering could overcome horsepower deficits. These racing victories elevated the 510's status from a humble commuter car to a performance icon. In terms of practicality, the Datsun 510 was as reliable as a Swiss watch. Owners appreciated its simple mechanical layout, which made repairs and maintenance straightforward. Parts were affordable and easy to source, and the car's reputation for durability meant it could rack up miles with ease. This reliability, combined with its fun-to-drive nature, made it a favorite among car enthusiasts looking for an affordable project car. Despite its virtues, the 510 remained somewhat under the radar for years. While enthusiasts recognized its brilliance, it never achieved the same mainstream fame as some of its European rivals. However, its affordability and tunability made it a popular choice for those looking to build custom performance cars. Many owners swapped in larger engines, upgraded suspensions, and transformed their 510S into formidable track machines. Owners comment, "The Datsun 510 is the perfect example of less is more. It doesn't overwhelm you with power or fancy gadgets, but it's incredibly rewarding to drive. There's something pure about its simplicity. It's just you, the car, and the road. Every time I take it out, I'm reminded of why I fell in love with driving in the first place. It's not just a car, It's a connection to a bygone era of motoring. Today, the Datsun 510 enjoys a cult following among classic car enthusiasts. Its blend of simplicity, performance, and heritage makes it a sought-after classic, especially among those who appreciate the purity of an analog driving experience. For many, it represents the golden age of Japanese motoring, a time when cars were designed to deliver joy behind the wheel without breaking the bank. In a world increasingly dominated by complex, tech-laden vehicles, the Datsun 510 stands as a refreshing reminder of the beauty of simplicity. Volkswagen Corrado VR6, 1992 to 1995. The Volkswagen Corrado VR6 remains one of the automotive world's hidden treasures, an often overlooked gem that blends subtlety, performance, and practicality in a way that few cars of its time could. It might not carry the iconic status of the Golf GTI or the legendary reputation of the Porsche 911, but the Corrado VR6 is a standout in its own right, offering a driving experience that's as unique as it is memorable. At first glance, the Corrado VR6 may not immediately scream performance. Its design, though distinctly sporty, is understated compared to the more flamboyant rivals of its time. The smooth, aerodynamic lines of the bodywork, accentuated by the active rear spoiler that rises at speed, create a visual appeal that is more subtle than aggressive. This doesn't mean the car is shy, though. The low stance and slightly flared wheel arches suggest a car that's built to be driven, even if it doesn't wear the traditional sports car look. Inside, the Corrado continues the theme of subtle sophistication. The cabin is a balance of form and function, with supportive, well-bolstered seats and a driver-centric layout. It's not a race car interior. There's a certain refinement and maturity to the space, befitting a car that is equally at home on the Autobahn as it is on the winding back roads. The materials used are of high quality, typical of the Volkswagen brand, with plush upholstery and a cockpit that feels modern without being overly flashy. It's a space designed for the driver to connect with the car, an essential characteristic of any performance vehicle. But the true magic of the Corrado VR6 lies in its engine. Beneath the hood resides the 2.8-liter VR6, a marvel of engineering that combines the benefits of a six-cylinder engine in a package compact enough to be mounted transversely. The VR6's narrow-angle design means that, despite its 6 cylinders, it can fit comfortably into a small engine bay, keeping weight distribution in check and allowing for a more agile driving experience. With 178 horsepower and 173 pound-feet of torque, the engine offers a healthy dose of power, but it's the way the power is delivered that makes the VR6 so special. The engine is smooth, responsive, and perhaps, most importantly, effortless. It pulls strongly from low revs, building power progressively as the tachometer climbs. Whether cruising on the highway or tackling a tight corner, the VR6 provides the kind of driving satisfaction that is hard to put into words. The sound of the VR6 is another factor that sets the Corrado apart. Its distinct growl, somewhere between a V6 and a flat 6, is instantly recognizable and makes the car feel alive, in a way that few other cars in its class can match. The engine's distinctive sound is never harsh or intrusive, but instead provides an exhilarating soundtrack that perfectly complements the car's performance. Driving the Corrado VR6 is an experience that emphasizes balance and poise. The car's fully independent suspension, combined with a front-wheel drive layout and precise steering, gives it an exceptional ability to carve through corners with ease. The chassis feels planted, giving the driver a sense of confidence even when pushing the car to its limits. While the added weight of the VR6 engine can lead to a bit of understeer when cornering hard, it's easily manageable for most drivers and does little to detract from the car's overall dynamic capability. It's a car that feels composed, responsive, and eager to engage with its driver at every turn. The Corrado VR6 is not just about thrills, though. It's also surprisingly practical. The hatchback design offers more versatility than the typical coupe, making it easier to load cargo. The rear seats, while not particularly spacious, can accommodate passengers when needed, and the relatively large trunk ensures that the Corrado can be used as a daily driver without feeling impractical. It's a car that can offer both the thrills of a sports car and the functionality of a hatchback, making it an ideal choice for those looking to balance performance and practicality. Yet despite its strengths, the Corrado VR6 wasn't without its flaws. As with many German cars of the era, it could be a bit temperamental. Electrical issues, cooling system failures, and costly maintenance could frustrate owners, particularly those who weren't prepared for the level of attention required by a performance car. However, for those who did invest the time and effort, the rewards were immense. The Corrado VR6 was a car that came alive when driven hard, a vehicle that delivered a level of driving enjoyment that few others in its class could match. The VR6's cult following has only grown over the years, as enthusiasts have come to appreciate the car's understated brilliance. It may not have had the market success Volkswagen had hoped for, but the Corrado VR6 earned a place in the hearts of those lucky enough to own one.